And I do agree. It's near and dear and to our hearts, Jerry. Vocation Boom for 10 years, Jerry, going strong to support priestly vocations. And so ordinations and final vows of the ceremonies for the religious, all are part of that. This idea of really praying for vocations, walking with men and women as they enter into religious life. The seminarians, we both very much love the Sarah Club, okay, to support seminarians. I mean, and so then you get to that final phase where you get to be present at an ordination or final vows, and you're like, wow, I'm here. I get to experience this with that special person that I know and love and care about, and they have gone through so much formation, and now they are entering into this great, deep religious life. Well, have you ever attended an ordination? I have. I've worked in the Diocese of Phoenix for many years, so of course we were invited to ordinations. And Jerry, I know you have as well. We want to hear from our Take Two family. If you've ever been present at the Mass or the ceremony where this takes place, please call us and tell us your experience. And did it have a spiritual impact on you? 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. And Jerry, I'm asking all mothers of priests, they really should call in, because I know some of them, and they have told me that it was the most moving experience of their life, even over their own wedding.
Yeah, probably, maybe even over their own childbirth. I don't know, but
yeah.
But we want to hear, especially that would be awesome. Families, if you're related to a priest or a male or female religious who made final vows, if you went to these incredible ceremonies, please call and share what your experience was like. I have a lot of information. I want to hopefully have time to share a little bit of it here on the program about what goes on at a priestly ordination or a final vow ceremony. But as always, folks, this is your show. We want to give you the time to call in and share what is on your mind or your heart regarding priestly vocations, men and women religious. If there is something special you do to pray for or support our men and women who are following religious vocations, call and share what that is, because we all need to learn what we can do, what more we can do, I should say, to help support them and pray for them. So here's the phone number. It's 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986.
And of course, we all know that the sacrament of matrimony it's a vocation. It's so very important. It's a sacrament, very, very powerful, right? And we know that. But the mom that I'm thinking of, who's the mother of a priest, and she was telling me that, when she got married, she was very young, 21 years old, and she was so excited to get married, and she just had that excitement, and she couldn't wait to get to the reception, and then to announce that they were husband and wife and all of that. So it's all that adrenaline, exciting, I'm getting married. But she said when her son became a priest, she sat there and she just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. And she said it was so moving, and she just felt like she was in heaven. It was incredible to watch her son be ordained. And so that's what I was referring to. If you've ever been at an ordination, or if you're a relative of somebody that was took their final vows to go into the religious life, maybe you're the mom of a sister or something of that nature, or somebody that has just decided to really, make their life very set apart and different in a way that is just focused completely on God. And they went through all of the formation, and you went with them. How about this, Jerry? Can we open it up to this? I would love to hear from the deacons' wives. For the diaconate, the wives go through the formation with their husbands. What did that feel like? I've always wanted to know that. How about you, Jer?
Well, I have. In fact, when I was at the Institute for Priestly Formation summer spirituality program, we had a lot of priests come in from all around the country, and one of them came in from the Diocese of Wichita, Kansas. And it was so beautiful. He almost teared up when he shared this. I almost teared up too. His mother said, when he was about to be ordained, his mother said, "I have just one question for you. What's it going to be like to hold up my God?" Is that powerful or what?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And that's what our priests do for us, is they consecrate the body and blood, soul and divinity of our Lord, our God, our Savior, Jesus Christ. And of course, our men and women religious make so many sacrifices. I think of so much they give to the church, Debbie, through teaching, through hospital work, through being cloistered and praying all day. I mean, it's so Take Two Family, this is your broadcast here, 833-288-EWTN. If you've never been to a priestly ordination or a final vows ceremony, call anyway, because I've been researching this, not that I needed to. I've been to several of both, but there's just a lot of beautiful elements to this. Maybe you've got a question about the mass ceremony that takes place when a man is ordained a priest, or a man or a woman is finally consecrated with final vows in their religious community. 833-288-3986.
Well, you know, and I was referring to being somebody that goes into the cloistered religious life, right? And that is another major step, because you are separating from that person, right? I know, because my aunt for a long time was cloistered. I remember my mother saying the day that she, quote unquote, said goodbye to her, because she needed time to be away and in prayer. And it was an interesting change in their sibling relationship. So that all happens too. Here's another one, Jerry, I want to throw into the mix. This is so fascinating to me. And now it's starting to jog my memory. I'm thinking of all these moms of priests. This one mom that I know that's a mother of a priest and a religious sister. She has a son who's a priest and a daughter who's a sister. And she said, I said to her, "Are you going to still call them by their first name?" And she said, "No, I'm calling him Father."
Yeah.
I love
Beautiful. It. All right. Christina's going to lead off. We got others we're going to get to as well, but there are a couple of phone lines open. Have you been to a priestly ordination or a mass of final vows for a male or female religious? 833-288-3986. We'll get to your calls here in just a moment on Take Two.
This is Sandra McDevitt. Join me for uplifting Catholic inspirational stories on Stories from the Heart, Sunday morning, 9:15 Eastern on EWTN Radio.
Join Archbishop Jose Gomez in sharing the good news.
And my dear brothers and sisters, as we know, the church's mission is still going on. Jesus is still sending out his disciples to spread his love, to carry his gospel to the ends of the earth. The church's mission continues in our lives. We are the disciples that Jesus is sending out now, in our time and place. By the grace of God, we share the gospel by the way we love, caring for other people, being generous and gentle, being understanding and merciful in our dealings with other people. These are the little everyday miracles that can change people's lives. This is how we help people to discover the reality and presence of God in their lives.
Visit lacatholics.org to find ways to connect with our faith community in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles.
For over 40 years, EWTN has been praying with and for people throughout the world. Today, we want to pray for anything that weighs on your heart. Send us your prayer request at EWTN.com/prayer.
The way, the truth.
This is EWTN Radio.
Oh, this is going to be an exciting discussion today where the phone lines are lighting up, and either you have attended an ordination or you've been ordained yourself, or final vows ceremony for a religious. We'd love to hear the story, the backstory, who was there, who got invited. Is it possible that I'm going to get a seat? Because I understand that, Jerry, your ordination in a couple of years is going to be packed. I better get a front row seat. I'm going to have to call the diocese and just say, listen, I'll sweep floors. I'll put up tables and chairs. Tell me what I need to do, but I've got to be there.
Well, pray me there first.
Okay. Pray you there first, and then get a seat somewhere in the church. But before we get to the phones, Jerry, I just wanted to share with our Take Two family. And by the way, you are part of the family just by listening. So you don't have to be Catholic to call in. We would love to hear your story. So please dial in at 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. Vanessa's ready to answer your calls. If you have the Radio FM app, you can listen to EWTN Radio's live stream. Open the Radio FM app and search EWTN. It's that simple.
All right. Debbie, you said it right. This is going to be an impactful discussion on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. You make it so with your lived experiences. And we're asking you today, have you ever attended a priestly ordination or a mass of final vows for a male or female religious person, a brother or a sister? And especially, Debbie, we want to give a shout out to those who definitely were at a priestly ordination, and that is those who are priests right now. And we have a lot of priests and religious who listen to the program. Bishop Coffey is a big listener of the program. Father John, if you guys are listening, you got to call and you can share firsthand what it was like to be at an ordination. But here's the number. We got a couple of lines still open. We're going to get to the calls here. 833-288-EWTN. 833-288-3986. Okay, we will go to Christina in Dallas as promised, and Christina is listening on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Christina.
Hey, I'm doing fine. I'm calling from Dallas. I have my second daughter became a religious sister. Right after she graduated from the university, she went off to France and joined order there. And I just want to say I had to miss her. We had to miss her perpetual vows because it took place in France during the COVID lockdown, and I tried everything to get over there, but I was not able to. They wouldn't let me in the country, so we had to get up at 2 a.m. to watch it. It was live streamed. I was so happy for her. She was just beaming, and this has been something that I had just been praying for years, that knowing that she had been called by God, that she would say yes to his call. And so that is just makes me so happy, because so many people, I think, miss the call. And so I just want to encourage parents to really ask your kids every year to ask God if he wants them to be a priest or a religious sister. It's something that has to come up at least once a year, and encourage them, because else they won't know to ask and sit and listen for the answer.
Well, Christina, you have raised a question in my mind that I would like to ask you, and you have obviously shown this generosity in your family by encouraging your daughter, and a lot of parents do that. But at the same time, a lot of parents are a little hesitant to do that because they fear, kind of like losing their child or whatever. And in your case, your daughter is all the way over in France. So would you mind just for like a minute or so, just sharing what was it like in your heart? You're probably overjoyed, but at the same time, your daughter was moving far away, and your ability to see her was going to be very, very limited going forward. So what was that like as a parent?
Okay, yes. Well, okay, here's the honesty. The first year she was gone, I cried a lot. And my older daughter was just, Mom, she got irritated with me. She's not dead. But I had a lot going on that year. My oldest got married. My second one went to France for a vocation. And, my third left home to go to university. And it was just a lot of transition and separation. I was happy for every person that they were doing what I felt God was calling them to do. But for me, it was also felt like a lot of loss at once. And when she left, we went, she asked permission for us to visit her 3 or 4 months after she had arrived. And so we did go over there. And first we thought, oh, she's going to be gone 3 or 4 months. Really too soon, but it wasn't. We went, and my heart really needed to see that, to see her total joy. And my husband, who's not, how can I say this? Not religious, not spiritual. He said, I've never seen her so happy in her entire life.
Wow.
Yeah, so she still is every time. And I reassure her, because we were a military family, so we know what it's like to get assigned. So every 2 or 3 years, she gets moved someplace else.
Right.
And she still has not been assigned back to the United States in 13 years. But I just reassure, we'll visit you wherever you're assigned to, and we have. And it's just always a delight to see her and to see her so happy
beaming
in her community.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Christina, I think I thank you so very much for being real. It's an adjustment for the family. It's an adjustment for the person going through formation. It's a change in the way have experienced life. No different than when you go into get married, right? That's a big change. When you go to have children, that's a big change. So yeah, I love how you were just speaking from your heart. I think it's beautiful. Christina, can you share with us the order that she joined? And can you share with us her religious name?
Yes. It's a newer order. It's only 40 years old. It's called the Apostolic Sisters of St. John, named after St. John, the beloved disciple. Mm-hmm. And it's a French order. They do have a couple locations in the United States and in other countries, the Philippines and Togo and Cameroon and Africa and some other places. But they're very active outside. They do a lot of evangelization. They wear a very traditional habit with the wimple.
Nice.
A lot of hours spent, prayer, mass, vespers, adoration, etc. daily. Mm-hmm.
And her name.
Sorry, I forgot to.
And her religious name, Sister.
Yes, Sister Laura Agnes.
Oh, I love it.
So she told us, because we knew nothing about the process of becoming a sister. Every step of the way was a total mystery to us, to everybody in our family. I'm like, I just don't know what this means, Laura. So she was raised Laura, and I kept sending her a little information on different Saint Lauras and Blessed Laura Vicuña and different ones. I really was hoping she could keep her name, but she said in her order, the Mother Superior decides on your name. You're allowed to submit 3 choices, and then you discuss them with her. Mm-hmm. And then I believe you find out at the ceremony when it's announced, when you take your perpetual vow.
Wow, that's cool. That is really cool. What do you think, Jerry? I can see Jerry's face. I don't know if you see the video, Christina, but I can tell that he's getting excited about it. Hopefully his upcoming ordination. That's exciting.
Well, yeah, Christina, as you may know, I've been back in priestly formation for a couple of years, and I'm a selfish spiritual beggar. So I would ask if you would please ask your daughter to keep me and all seminarians and those in formation for religious life in their prayers. I know how powerful. I like to elicit all of the prayers that I can from the brides of Christ, because I know He will deny them nothing that they ask of Him.
Yes, I will definitely ask her to pray for you by name. Yes, I've been to 3 priestly ordinations, and the last one was approximately a year ago, and that was extremely special for when we were in the military, and I knew this man when he was age 10 on, and everybody always said, I think you should be a priest. You would be a wonderful priest, Carlos. And after university, he decided to enlist in the Army, and he was in the Army for like 10 years before he finally went to seminary and got ordained, and everybody's ecstatic just to see the fruitful flowering of that call.
Amazing. Yes.
Praise
Thank
God.
you. Yes. Thank you so much. This was such a delightful conversation. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being so open to sharing your children with the world to help them get closer to God. I mean, that's a beautiful thing, Christina.
Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
God bless you. Thank you.
Wow.
Great phone call to get us started. And we have a lot more that we're going to get to, but that line that Christina was on is now available. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. If you've just tuned in to Take 2 with Jerry and Debbie today, we're talking about having attended a priestly ordination or a mass of final vows for a man or woman religious, or if you want to share how someone that you know is in formation, or how you support and pray for our men and women who are accepting those calls from God for a priesthood or religious life, please do join us. We would love to have you be a part of this discussion.
Okay, we're going to get to Lucy, and Alana, hold on. We're going to get to Lucy in Florida, and Lucy's on the EWTN app. Hello, Lucy. Welcome to the program.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing great, Lucy. Thanks so much for waiting, and we were having a great conversation with Christina, and we're looking forward to meeting you and hearing your story.
Oh my goodness, I was so touched by Jerry's story about the lady that said, when you help up my Jesus. Oh, that was just awesome. Mm-hmm. That was just beautiful. Yes, I've been to 2 ordinations. The first one was one guy was he could exuded. I mean, there was something about him that you could see he was really into his priesthood. The other one, he was okay, but not as much. And the second one died a few years back. The second time I went to an ordination was a young guy. A week after his ordination, his father died. And then I heard months later that he had left the priesthood. So I was sad about the last two. I'm hoping to go this Saturday. I'm praying that I can make it. We're having 3 being ordained, and 2 of them I have been praying for as seminarians. So that's my story. Now, I have another question. My other question is, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. And before we get to your question, Lucy, I was just curious. I'm a seminarian in the Diocese of Orlando. We had 2 men ordained about 6 weeks ago. What is your diocese, if I may ask?
Venice.
Venice. Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I go to seminary with some of the guys from Venice. Yeah. So.
Yes, it's Jacob Gwynn and Dorothy. They're being ordained this Saturday. Joseph
and Pat Long, I believe, right?
Patrick Long, Joseph Dorothy, and Jacob Gwynn.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you're in my prayers. I most of the ones that I've been praying for so far have made it to the priesthood.
Oh, good. So your question, you go right ahead.
Okay, it's actually for a friend of mine. She has a son who used to be a good Catholic, went to college. Wanted to get married in the Catholic. He wanted to get married, but wanted to get married either in a park or in somewhere around there. And the priest told him he couldn't do that, so he married outside the church. Now she wants to give her goddaughter, her granddaughters, the statue of Our Lady that are very dear to her. So she'd ask his permission to do that, or should she just give it to them?
Go ahead. I was going to say, so just to get this story correct, so the parents were not married in the inside like a church with a priest. They got married outside the church. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the grandchildren. So then this friend of yours wants. Go ahead. They have. I was going to ask that. Have they been baptized?
No.
Okay, this is my suggestion on that. I actually used to get that question all the time in religious education, and this is what we used to share with people. I would definitely, because the statue obviously has been in the family. It is blessed. It's very important to that friend of yours. I would make sure that they understand the importance of the blessed statue, the importance of it if they're going to take it seriously. I know some people will say, well, just get the statue into the house and then even if it's in the closet, it doesn't matter. That is true to some level, but I will tell you that it's better if they understand the importance and they are going to take it seriously. If they accept it seriously and they take it seriously and they will, be respectful and understand it and be open to it, then it's a beautiful thing and it's actually very powerful. I've seen it really help people along their spiritual walk. If it's just going to be put in a closet, it could get damaged, it could get hurt. That's not a respectful way to treat a sacramental. So you might want to. She might want to kind of feel them out and see where they're at, if they're open to it or not. That's what would be.
The grandkids are still little though.
Oh, the grandkids are little. Okay. Yeah. Are the parents open to it?
That's what I need to. Does she have to ask their permission?
I really would, because you don't want them playing around with it, or because here's the other thing too. If the kids are little, I have seen kids really, dress up the statues and put clothes on it, and it's not respectful at all. That cheapens the powerful effect of sacramentals. What do you say, Jerry?
Well, I would add to that beautiful what Debbie shared, Lucy, and I would just say if it's a statue of Mary, like you said, our Blessed Mother, there's no one better to go to than her and ask her to be praying to sort of pave the way for this to happen, because this is a very beautiful gesture that your friend wants to do, and it could have powerful impact in the lives of these little children and the entire family if, as Debbie said, it is done correctly and reverently and so forth. So definitely encourage her to pray to Our Lady, to our Blessed Mother, and just ask Mary for open hearts on the part of the parents. And you never know, beautiful things will come from that. I really believe it, Lucy.
Yeah. Okay,
Still
Lucy.
ask her son. She should still ask them if it's okay to give it to the girl. But she would. That's what she would do. She would explain to the little girls, this is Mary, this is Jesus and Mother, and everything else. But since he's not willing to have none of that in the, he doesn't want anything to do with religion, that you still have to go through with him.
Well, they are the primary catechists technically, and so I think bringing the parents in on it is the best way to do it. Lucy, thank you so much, and we'll be right back.
Get ready for a new season of James the Less.
I like your haircut.
With less hair.
Hi, Emery.
More drama.
He's funny and handsome and...
You're not going to be a nun.
Oh.
And James Little...
He likes you.
...is trying to figure things out.
But you're not Catholic.
Yet. Presenting Season 2 of James the Less.
See you there.
I'll see you there.
An all-new season of James the Less. Streaming now at EWTN.com/James the Less.
This is Debbie Georgiani. If you missed part of today's show, catch the encore tonight at midnight Eastern or anytime at EWTN Podcast Central. Visit us at EWTN.com/radio/podcasts.
We're all familiar with the gospel where Mary is sitting at Jesus' feet while her sister Martha does the cooking and cleaning. And when Martha complains, Jesus says, "Martha, Martha, you're anxious and worried about many things. There's need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better portion." That gospel always bothered me. Like, if Martha weren't cooking and cleaning, no one would have eaten. But if you think about it, Jesus didn't say, "Martha, Martha, stop cooking." He said, "Stop being anxious about many things." It's okay to work hard, but Jesus is telling us, don't be busy, be occupied. If there's 100 things on your plate, make sure only one thing is on your heart. And what's that one thing? Love. Receive each task as a gift from God. Offer it back to Him and do it all with love in imitation of Jesus. I know, easier said than done. Lord, help us to be like Mary when we have to work like Martha. This is Chris Stefanik from RealLifeCatholic.com on EWTN Radio.
I'm Deacon Harold Burke-Sibley. Join me for Beacon of Truth today at 4 p.m. Eastern.
On the next Beacon of Truth, we're talking to Debbie Kappen in Soulful Psalm 60.
Now back to Take 2 with Jerry and Debbie.
We are talking today about priestly ordinations and final vow ceremonies, masses for men and women religious. If you have attended one of any of those, we would love to hear from you and what your experience was. If you just have questions about what takes place at an ordination or a final vow ceremony, we can answer those questions for you as well. It's really very, very beautiful. If you support our priests or religious in any way whatsoever, we would love to hear how you do that, through prayer or maybe through other tangible means. 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. Alana, hang on. I just have to mention real quickly here, and Debbie and I are so happy to do this, because if we don't have affiliates to carry EWTN programming, then there is no Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you and other programs. So we congratulate another great EWTN radio partner celebrating an incredible 22 years with us. Divine Mercy Broadcasting has 7 stations serving my home state of Washington in English and Spanish. Congratulations to John Haberman, Michael Drollman, and their team at Divine Mercy Broadcasting from your friends here at EWTN.
Okay, so a couple things. Dylan from Guadalupe Radio Network called in and asked for prayers for God's guidance, and is facing some instability and uncertainty. And Dylan, I've brought the prayer book out. You probably heard it at the beginning of the show. So definitely, Dylan, we are praying. So just let's keep that positive mindset and that attitude, and have confidence in prayer, Dylan. And let's ask our Lord and Our Lady to help you you with this uncertainty that you may be facing or is surrounding you. Okay, Dylan? If you're listening, we've got you in the prayer book. Alana is up next from Guadalupe Radio Network, listening on Guadalupe Radio Network in Texas. Hi, Alana. Thank you so much for waiting and welcome.
You're welcome.
Yes, go right ahead. Tell us your story. Yeah.
Okay. I have a son that was ordained a priest 7 years ago, and it was the day after my 50th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
So we were truly blessed.
Yes,
Father Jonathan was an electrical engineer at Texas A&M, came home later and said, I'm not going to do electrical engineering. I want to become a priest.
Wow. Wow. What did that do to your heart, Alana, at that very, I'm sure you can remember that moment very, very well. What was happening in your heart at that time?
I'll tell you, we were amazed because we had no idea that he was even thinking of that. I mean, he went through all confirmation and all his sacraments and everything, and to come home and say that kind of blew us away. But we were very excited and happy and thrilled that he wanted to do that.
Wow. And you said
the ordination was beautiful. It really was.
And you said it's Father Jonathan. I want to put him in the book.
Yes, Father Jonathan Dema.
Dema, beautiful.
He's in the Diocese of Fort Worth, and he's the pastor of Sacred Heart in Wichita Falls, Texas.
Nice. Very nice. So now, do you think he's listening to Guadalupe Radio Network right now, Alana? Or do you think he's probably doing his...
Actually, he's not. Right now, he is on a camping trip with two other priests. They go every year, and they take off a couple of weeks, and they go ATVing and fishing and have mass in the morning and just take off and just view the beautiful countryside.
Right. You're going to have to send him the episode then. But real quickly, I just have to ask this because I wanted to get a mother of a priest on, Jerry. Do you call him Jonathan still, or do you call him Father?
It depends. At home, when he's at home and it's just us, we call him Jonathan. But when we're talking to people about him, and if we're out, we call him Father Jonathan.
Beautiful.
Well, Alana, this is one instance where Debbie and I will both say we're glad people aren't listening, like your son and his priest friends. We're glad they're not listening today because they need that. They need their days off. They need their vacations. They need this priestly fraternity. So thanks be to God, they're getting some of that here these days as they're out camping. I only wish I was with them because it's been decades since I went camping, and that's on my bucket list to do before I go meet the Lord face to face.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And it's kind of cute. He has nieces and nephews, and they didn't know if they should call him Uncle Jonathan, Father Jonathan, so they decided to call him Frunkle. It's Father Uncle
Frunkle.
Jonathan.
I love it. Wow. Well, what an anniversary gift you got, Alana. That is amazing. Now we are highlighting the parents of priests. So we have the prayer book out. I put your son, Father Jonathan, in the book. I put you in the book. Your husband's first name, may I have his first name to put him in? I would feel better if I had the two of you together for your 50th wedding anniversary.
His name is Michael.
Michael. Oh, beautiful name. Beautiful name. Okay. Thank you so much. What a great call. And I maybe we'll get to meet Father Jonathan someday because we travel around Texas. That would be a blast.
He would love it. He would love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Wow.
Well, thank you, Alana, for calling. But far more important than that, thank you and your husband for giving to us a priest who brings us Jesus and pulls our souls out of danger in confessional and all of those beautiful things. Thank you, Alana. God bless you.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, we've got a first-time caller, Jerry, and we do have an open phone line. So if you've been to an ordination, maybe you don't know what an ordination mass or ceremony for final vows, what it feels like, how long it is, what you have to go through. Maybe you'd like to ask some questions. We'll happily answer as best we can. Or you're maybe a deacon or a deacon's wife, and you want to talk about the formation you went through. How about you're part of Sarah Club, okay, and you support seminarians? Would you tell us what that is like? Both Jerry and I are very familiar with Sarah Club. In fact, I helped to start one of the chapters here where I live in the Southeast Valley of Arizona, and it is so amazing. I love Sarah Club because of this. You get to know the seminarians so well, and you get to really support them in prayer and other means. So it's a beautiful thing. So maybe you would like to call in. And here's the number. Super easy. Vanessa is so friendly. You're going to love her. 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. You still have plenty of time to call in, but please share your story. Sheila, first-time caller, Jerry, from Illinois on the EWTN app, is up next. Hi, Sheila.
Hello. How are you?
We're great. Thank you so much.
Good. Okay. So if I can get through this without crying. My brother was a priest. He decided when he graduated high school he wanted to become a priest, so he went to first 4 years down at St. Meinrad and in Indiana, and then was chosen to go study his final 4 years at the North American College in Rome. And we got to see him become a deacon at St. Peter's Basilica. It actually happened. Okay, so September 11th happened. We were scheduled to fly to Rome on September 29th. Thankfully, the flight happened, so we were able to see him become a deacon at St. Peter's Basilica. The following year, in 2002, he was ordained a priest at the Indianapolis Diocese. And unfortunately, 3 years later, we lost him. So 20 years he's been gone, July 17th of this month.
Wow. Sheila,
So
we are just...
Yeah, my uncle was also a priest, and I had 2 second cousins that were priests. So we have been very blessed to witness many anniversaries, diaconate, and priesthood.
Yeah, you sure have. Many, many blessings with the sadness and the sorrow, of course, of losing your brother. Do you mind giving us his first name, Father? What is his first? We can
Justin.
add him to Justin.
Yep, Father
Okay,
Justin.
Debbie.
I have the
Debbie
book out.
has him.
Yes.
Sheila, we're so sorry about this. And we thank God that you were able to, experience his diaconate ordination in Rome and then his priestly ordination in Indianapolis. And as you so well know, Sheila, a priest, by virtue of the transformation that takes place in his soul, the mark or the character, it's kind of like every one of us who's baptized, and you know this, Sheila, I'm sure, but for those who don't, every one of us who's baptized, we have a mark on our soul that is going to follow us into eternity wherever we go. And the same with a priest who's ordained. He is in persona Christi. A priest is a priest forever, as the scriptures tell us and as the church teaches. Sheila, I hope that gives you some peace and consolation here. You said it's been over, about 20 years since you lost your brother.
Yes, it does. It's sad for us, but he's in a much better place, so it's just tough,
Yeah. But you have to imagine that he's, still so active and wanting his whole family to make it to heaven is such a beautiful thing to be thinking about. The long-term plan, the long goal, the end result, right? You will see and be with your brother again, Sheila.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, God bless you. You're a beautiful soul. I hope that all of heaven is watching this broadcast today and listening to it.
I hope so too.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much. I love listening to your show.
Thank you. We love you. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Beautiful. Wow. I mean, this is a very, very moving broadcast, Debbie, very emotional at times, but I think very, very beautiful that we're able to, shine a light on the priesthood and religious life as we are doing here today, because those men and women who accept those invitations from God are so very, very special and important to us. So
absolutely
beautiful phone calls we're having. Yeah.
I love this. Well, let's stay in Texas, Jerry. And James is a first-time caller listening on Guadalupe Radio Network. James, this is a fascinating story. We can't wait to hear it. Hello and welcome.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes. So tell us.
Yes. Just wanted to, hearing about ordinations and stuff. And I listen to EWTN all the time, but I'll just kind of make this quick. But my brother, he became a priest back in the early 80s, and then after that he went to Houston at the seminary there. But then he ended up like I said, becoming a priest, and then I went to that ordination, and then later on he got the calling that he was going to be a auxiliary bishop in the Houston-Galveston area. And of course, Mom and Dad were alive at that time, and they were so proud. And as all of us brothers and sisters, we're so proud of him. I mean, it was really to see him up there, to watch him, and how he just watching him. I don't know if it's just the maybe just the graces given upon him, that you could see the Holy Spirit just shine on him. Later on, after becoming auxiliary bishop in Houston, Galveston, he then became bishop in the Austin area here in Texas, and he was there for, I want to say over 10 years. And just recently, about a month ago, he went to Rome and received his Archbishop Pallium from the Holy Father.
Wow.
And oh my gosh, we are so happy for him. I pray for him every day. We text back and forth, because now being the Archbishop, we don't get to speak to him as often, but we do get to hear, talk to him. In fact, he was just here this past weekend for 4th of July, and it was such a blessing, because we have not seen him since him becoming Archbishop in the Houston-Galveston area.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing. So can you, we have the prayer book out. Can you share with us your brother's, his full name?
Yes, it's, Archbishop Joe Steve Vasquez.
Right. Yes. And we know Archbishop Vasquez. I know. Oh my goodness. I was so hoping you would shout it to the world, who your brother is. That is so amazing. Now, are you a younger brother, older brother? Tell us the details of the family.
Actually, there was 6 of us, brothers and sisters, and my brother Joe. I call him Joe. I mean, I should show more. I'm not sure. I should give more respect in calling him Archbishop, but he's been my brother before Archbishop. But of course, Archbishop goes along with it. He is the oldest, and then there was 5 other ones. So Mom and Dad had 6 sons and daughters, and I am the youngest, and he is the oldest. And anyway, but
that is amazing.
It's such a blessing. Let me tell you. Such a blessing, and it's my heart goes out to him all the time. I mean, all the time, because I know that's a job that you have to have God's grace poured upon you just to do it, and I know that I couldn't do it. I mean, I know I couldn't, and that's why I'm not a priest.
Wow. But you have an archbishop for a brother, your oldest brother. I think that is pretty amazing. And I was so glad you shared the story because I'm very familiar with your brother because I do a lot of work with Guadalupe Radio Network. And so we're just are so proud of your brother. And I will tell you, James, you just, as you were telling the story, and it was so cute because I think our audience could hear Jerry trying to tell his dog to be quiet. We wanted to hear every detail of this story. And Jerry's like, well, keep the dog quiet, because I will tell you, James, it reminded me, didn't it remind you, Jerry, of the Pope's brothers when they came out and were on social media saying, my brother became Pope. It so reminded me as you were saying, and my brother's the Archbishop of Houston, Galveston, Texas. And I just love that. You know, the pride that's in a family of that. I know it firsthand, and so does Jerry. I know it firsthand, James, because my uncle was a pretty famous priest in northern New Jersey, and we used to feel it all the time. We were so proud to watch him and just help all these souls and to lead and to teach in seminary and your brother being an archbishop. I can totally understand the feeling in the family, and it is so amazing. And that's why I think we wanted to tap into today, James, with this topic, is to get families to be open to that. Be open to that because it benefits the entire family. Wouldn't you say, James?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. I mean, and again, Mom and Dad showed us a faith. And the crazy thing about it, not crazy, but the weird thing about it is Mom was a Protestant and she was a convert over to Catholicism. And that, hearing the story when Dad was alive, and God rest his soul, he's now in heaven with Mom, but having him share the story about how she became a convert to Catholicism from Protestant it would always bring tears to me.
Yeah,
all
and
the time.
and giving birth to an archbishop. I mean, that's pretty incredible. You guys need to write a story for your family. It should be some kind of movie or something. Seriously, if your brother would be okay with it. But Jerry, if I may, I know Jerry's got a comment, James, but may I have your mom and dad's first name? I want to put it next to your family and the archbishop's name.
Juan Vasquez is my dad, and Elvira Vasquez is my mother.
Beautiful. Okay, Jerry, you go right ahead. This is so exciting.
Well, just real quick comment, James. I was in priestly formation 30 years ago for several years, and among the men that I was in formation with back then, I think 5 or 6 have become bishops now, and it sort of changes the way you see it. Sort of humanizes it a little bit, because you think to yourself, hey, I know him. Because sometimes we think of our bishops and priests, and of course the Pope and the cardinals, as being sort of almost untouchable or unapproachable in a certain sense. But then when somebody we know fills that role, it sort of changes that, and we say, hey, wow, this is really cool. I know that that man. Right. So I know what you're experiencing, James, very much.
I'm just so happy again, and I pray for all our priests. I mean, I've known some very extraordinary, very well rounded priests that my parents have really attached themselves to when they were both alive, and let me tell you, it's such a blessing. Let me tell you, because without priests, then we cannot have Eucharist, and without Eucharist, we have no Catholicism then.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, absolutely. And James, we don't want you to put the good archbishop on the spot and commit for him. But if you ever feel like coming on the radio with your brother and just sharing the family story to get people to realize how beautiful it is, especially your mom's story about coming into the faith, I think it is fascinating. Feel free to drop us an email or contact us. We'll happily, especially we have the morning. I work on the morning show at Guadalupe Radio Network. It would be lovely to hear the story of your mom coming into the church.
Okay, absolutely. I'll have to get with him, and we can kind of, but like I said, we don't get to see him that much. I've only seen him one time since him becoming Archbishop, and that was back in March,
Mm-hmm.
like 29th, somewhere of March. I'm not sure. But I haven't, and this is the first time me seeing him since then. So,
well,
he's a very busy man.
He is a busy man, and we love the great Archbishop Vasquez. And I'll tell you what, you got a great family, 6 of you. But I have to tell you, James, your brother, the Archbishop, is great, but I do like the youngest of 6 because I'm the youngest of 6. So there you go.
Hey, we have a special heart in our parents, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're the favorite. We think we're the favorite.
Absolutely.
All
Thanks,
right.
James.
Thank you. That was just a quick, summary of my brother. So, and again, I pray for all priests, and all religious. So, it's my duty as a person to do that, as a person of faith to do that. So.
Wow.
Anyway. We're so glad that you shared your joy with us and with the Take Two family, James. Thank you, brother. God bless you. We'll be praying definitely for your brother, Archbishop Vasquez in Galveston, Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I was at that summer program here, Debbie, in Omaha with several of the seminarians from Galveston, Houston. Great men coming up to be priests, and I'm sure there are many others already ordained. I'm going to get right back to the calls. I just have to mention real quickly that EWTN's weekly 1-hour discussion of current events in the church is called News in Depth. It airs tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Covers the underreported stories and also clarifies the church's position on key teachings with a focus on the laity's needs and concerns, hosted by Catherine Hadro. And you can get EWTN News in Depth delivered to your email inbox with details on each week's show. Just go to EWTN.com/in-depth and sign up today.
Okay, this is so beautiful. I love the Take Two family. That is, we have a very loyal listenership in the great state of Texas, and I'm already getting messages like crazy saying, we love Archbishop Vasquez. Okay, so James, you should be really happy. Lots of folks love your brother, and that is so cool that you called in, first-time caller to Take Two. Diane from the Station of the Cross called in, and we've got an important, very quick prayer request, Jerry. They just found out her son, John, who lives in Dallas, Texas, has a tumor. He's 29 years old. They believe it is cancerous, but she's asking for prayers for it to be benign. She just discovered EWTN 2 months ago, and it has helped her faith. Diane, listen closely. Go to Padre Pio quickly. Go to St. Padre Pio very fast, and also ask John to ask his guardian angel to be beside him as they do the testing on this tumor. And we put John in the book, Diane. So just keep us posted what's going on with him. 29 years old. That's way too young to have those kinds of things happen. Okay, Becky is another first-time caller, Jerry, right outside of San Antonio, Texas. We're staying in the great state of Texas on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Becky. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Go right ahead.
Welcome.
Tell us. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wanted to share my story of priestly ordination. We were blessed. I had the most wonderful father-in-law who married my mother-in-law, who was a widow with 6 children. And he was in the military at the time. And he married her, and, the family was, struggling when they married. And he was like the family hero. He came in and just blessed them with, providing a good home and, just provided for them. And
we got about 45 seconds, Becky.
Okay. He became a priest at age 70 after my mother-in-law passed away. He had been a deacon for 9 years, and then he joined the seminary, went into the seminary, and was ordained back in 1998, and he passed in 2012. But he was just wonderful, wonderful, devout all his life, always had the calling. But he says he was just scared and ran, but then finally God just told him, I got you. So he was ordained. So that's my story.
Well, praise God, Becky. Thank you for sharing that. And it warms my heart because, as you may know from listening to the program, I am back on the road to the priesthood myself, looking to be maybe around 66 when I get ordained, God willing. So we will pray for the repose of the soul of your father-in-law. Thank you so much, Becky, for sharing that. Marie in New York, another first-time caller. I wish we had time to get to you. Your son is a priest. Thank you, Marie, for that. Thank you, all of the Take Two family, for making this an incredible conversation today. We really appreciate being with you. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about Tell us something you love about someone you love. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed day.
Want some more peace in your life? Need some more grace in your day? For a better future with God as the focus. Jesus said, I came for you to have life and to have it to the full. So begin anew at standtalltoday.com. standtalltoday.com.